Okay, this is what I've got done so far. I discovered while working on it that all the muffler bits were in the way, so I used the heat and pop method to remove those. The heat and pop method is simply immersing it in boiling hot water for 10 seconds at a time to loosen the adhesive and the pieces, and then you just pop them off. I will say, this, boy, that was in there good. So anyway, I got them removed because the work I needed to do, they were just in the way. Next, I also, if you can see, I've dremeled out all the detail that was in here. So I still got to sand that out yet, and I still need to cut these things off, but I did grind off the quote-unquote screws that were on these two pieces. Another thing I did was I popped the Mechstrider's head off just because it like the exhaust, they were just in the way. So, what have I managed to accomplish here? Well, as you can see, I got all that sanded off. I have reshaped the top. I've cut the sides down. I put a bigger slant up here. So that should be pretty much the way the seat needs to look. And this black line represents where the bigger portion of the seat needs to sit. So it's got to attach on there. I'm toying with the idea, because this is going to be such a big piece, drilling a couple holes in the back somewhere and maybe using a few short bent pieces of clothes hanger to provide support for the Sculpey. That's what all this white stuff is on here, actually. That's Sculpey. And to make that stuff set up, you do the same thing as the boiling pot method. You boil water and you dip the piece with Sculpey in it, so that instead of putting it in the oven and watching your figure, whatever it may be, melt, you just stick it in the hot water, and that quote-unquote bakes the Sculpey. So, I have filled in those strange holes that were here. This little dot still represents where the leg is supposed to be mounted. That's the old hole for the leg. There was an ugly spot right there that I filled in with Sculpey, and that's the mate for that. Another thing they added that I have absolutely no idea what the purpose of it was supposed to be. The original leg hole here and the original wing hole here. Underneath this black line, that's where the other wing hole is. That was the only piece that did not survive the boil and pop. I accidentally broke that off, so oops. So I took Sculpey and I put it on here, and I blended it into all of this, and that's a really nice finish that I've got on there now. So the next step will be to starting here, because there is a gap between these two units, because this is more or less a cover for the engine cylinder itself, and then the piece that will come up here, that is all part of the seat and the seat controls. So I've still got to put the two little switches up here. But once I get these two pieces put on, because I have to have one here and one on the other side, and then the bigger piece on the back. Then I need to put some fine layers of Sculpey down on here, of course for the buttons, but also because the material on the seat right here, which looks to be, I'm going to say leather, but it's World of Warcraft, so who knows what it really is, but it's ridged, so that seat fabric is ridged, so I do need to put a thin layer of Sculpey down to emulate that ridged. And once I have that done, I should need to repaint it. The only thing left that I'm not set on right now is this piece, because the mount in game, it's a very plain cylinder, but this has detail on it. You can see along the edge there's some white here. That's because there was a little serrated edge that went all the way around it, and initially I thought I'd leave it on because it looked neat, but I decided no, I want to try and get as close as I can to the actual in-game mount, so I ended up cutting it off. But now I'm debating on all this detail on it, because I think it's going to look silly having detail starting at the end and coming all the way up to here, and then abruptly the detailing stops. Unless I want to try to continue the detailing into here, but I don't know. I'm really debating on it.